Well, Geoffrey Hutton, you're the chairman of the Visit USA committee, or is it president?
Well, I think it's actually president, but...
So we should say Mr. President.
No, I'm quite comfortable with, president or chairman is fine.
Tell me, what's the role of the Visit USA committee in driving visitors from Australia to the USA?
Well, originally, the US Travel and Tourism Administration had an operation in Australia, and they closed that down about 10 years ago. And it was up to the industry then to take on that role of marketing the USA. So all the major travel companies got together and they basically got representatives or provided representatives to go on a board to create a marketing presence for the USA as a brand.
So all this is funded from the private sector. There's no government funding from the USA that goes into it?
There is no funding at all. We've been doing this, as I said, for about 10 years, and just for example, these shows that we put on every year, the budget runs up to about $200,000. So we do rely on memberships, we rely on the promotions that we do, we rely also on the revenue that we obtain from doing the actual expos themselves.
Why do you think, and might be a slightly political question, but why do you think governments around the world don't really value tourism and don't invest in it?
Well, that's actually just about to change in America, because this last year the government did vote in the Travel Promotion Act, and now there will be a collection based on people who do go into the USA, and that money will go into a fund which I think is already over $100 million, and that will be spent on promoting tourism. Now, it could be, because we're not in the top 5 markets, that we don't see any of that money down here, so it could be that we continue on as normal, because I think the money will go into developing China, probably into the UK, probably into Brazil, which is a huge, and Korea.
Well, let's hope they don't create a big bureaucracy that absorbs about 90% of the money and doesn't leave anything for marketing.
Well, that's to be hoped. I mean, we have seen situations before where funds have been put together for international marketing, and that resulted in some satellite offices being set up, and in reality there are similar organisations to ours in every major country, and they also have been doing similar work, and it's really what has driven travel to the USA.
It's quite amazing, really, when you think about it. This is a group of private individuals that work for companies who've got together, not only put their time into it, because I know the time you have to put in is huge, but companies' money, individuals' money, across from the States and to here to promote the destination in the absence of government funding. And here we are, as the Consul General said, with potentially heading towards 1 million visitors a year. It's quite amazing.
Well, it is amazing, and unfortunately I don't see the situation changing anytime soon. I'd like to be a bit more optimistic in terms of funding for the industry here. I mean, the industry has carried that burden, but basically it's a private enterprise operation. It's in the interests of companies who market to the USA to promote the USA. And, we do a lot of education as well as these trade shows. We now have online training modules. We go out and do regional training. We also will be doing some regional expos this year. So, yeah.
What sort of places?
Well, I think probably places like Canberra and North Queensland, those sorts of markets that are too far from these traditional cities that we've been doing expos so far.
I've been amazed since living in southeast Queensland. I mean, how, I don't mean affluent, but, it's a booming area. It's the fastest growing area in Australia. We're only an hour and a half from Brisbane, so a lot of agents would come to an event like this down here. But there's a tremendous amount of, reasonably disposable income, and they're big travellers. Looking at the Visit USA committee and moving into the future, what are your plans for the future?
Well, the plans really are to create a marketing plan that expands what we do. Really, we don't need to market the Visit USA organisation, and sometimes people get confused and call us trying to get advertising dollars for the organisation to advertise or promote, but not for the organisation. there's no value in doing that for our members.
Promoting the destinations and the members.
Yeah, so really whatever we do has to be tied to giving the members value and creating projects where the members can participate. And I think that's really where we're going.
Well, you've got a busy week ahead, okay, so where from here?
Well, down to Melbourne first thing in the morning. There's a media lunch tomorrow there and another evening function. And then back to Sydney for an evening function on Wednesday night, a media lunch on Thursday, and a business-to-business session in the morning. And also on the Thursday night, we're having for the first time the California Academy of Sciences are sponsoring an event at the Australian Museum where we are asking all our members to come along, plus the exhibitors as a thank you, and also members of the media to just generate a bit more publicity, really, for California and
interesting network
exactly.
and all that sort of stuff.
And it's an interesting place to have a function. So
it's awesome, and linking the USA and Australia, because there seems to me to be tremendous links. But look, you've got a busy week ahead, as I say. Thank you for your time this evening. Very best of luck with the Visit USA committee as it moves forward in marketing the USA, as what we all know. And eGlobal Travel Media is going to the States in June, to Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and North Dakota. And hopefully Los Angeles, San Diego on the way in, and San Francisco on the way out. So it's a big trip. So
well, that's good, because they've put the money into the market and they're seeing the results. And part of our job at Power, the international trade show that's held in America every year, is to basically get the message out to some of these other marketing groups, like Travel South, for instance. We've also been talking to other basically areas that don't normally market in Australia. And we've got a very good example in New York, for instance. New York started coming here about 3 years ago. Now they are the #1 destination for Australians, which...
Well, and we're planning on maybe New York at the end of the year. So, Geoffrey, thank you very much for your time, and very best of luck for the rest of the week.
Okay. Thank you, John. Bye.